About a roast beef.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Bagman Podcast. We've got a alternative conversation going on between our guest and my co-host. Yeah, they're microphones. We can hear you. So if you want to tell people your love for Arby's, go ahead. We're on episode 17, moving right through the episode numbers here, Stock. Got a lot of stuff to talk about in a very little amount of time. So both the guys that are on today, other than myself, have to get somewhere. So we're going to kind of speed this along. Stock, how was your week? What do you got in the rewind section?
Week was good. Saturday was very good because I'm not exaggerating when I say I slept all day.
Like a log.
Except for the 2 times I woke up to feed the cats. And I needed it. I really needed it. Since then, I felt like my sinuses have been doing better.
Yeah.
You had throat trouble last week.
I had a head cold. I had a really bad head cold with like the post-nasal drip, and it's really fun and exciting for people to hear about when I talk about all that kind of stuff. But kind of been going around.
Yeah.
It's the Indiana winter.
It is.
You know, it gets warm, gets cold, gets warm, gets cold, and everybody struggles.
Yep. We're both getting better, though.
Yes, on the mend.
Something I did do on Sunday, and I really want to plug this YouTube channel. I've talked about it before, Sip and Feast. It's a cooking channel. The guy who runs it focuses on Italian recipes.
Yes.
I made his stuffed peppers on Sunday. They are amazing.
Is that with a rice filler?
Yes, with rice filler.
Yeah.
But with all of the seasonings and everything, it tastes like a little lasagna wrapped in a green pepper.
That's fantastic.
And it is amazing.
Well, Ryan can attest to that. That's one of the things we grew up on was the stuffed peppers and the Corel dish that that our
Corel.
mom used to make. Excellent cook. Excellent cook. Our mom was awesome growing up, making all kinds of odd dishes that she knew we would eat because we were grown boys, still are, just outward, not upward now.
Question for you two.
Yes.
Easter time, did you color Easter eggs?
Early on.
When we were younger,
Okay.
yes.
How did you color them? Did you buy a kit?
We had the pause tie-dye kit where you,
thing with,
with the spoon that you had to bend yourself.
Yeah.
How pedestrian.
Well, wait
Stock,
for this.
how pedestrian.
Mom, I want you to know I'm not complaining. I'm just comparing. She would boil onion leaves.
Early rant.
That would make the water a certain color. And then you just draw with crayon on the eggs, throw them in, and it would do its thing.
Well, we got really fancy one year with the crayons.
We did the invisible crayon.
The invisible crayons that would kind of like peel off and leave a non-colored area on the tie-dye.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm remembering the vinegar smell right now. Makes me never want to go back to those days. That was so strong in the kitchen. Oh, my goodness. Anything else, Stock, from this last week you want to bring up? You had a couple topics you wanted to talk about.
Yes, everyone, listen to the new History Buffet. We talk about mangoes and New Zealand.
Ooh.
So that's available on your podcast provider of
Not
choice.
New Zealand mangoes, but mangoes and New Zealand.
Mangoes and New Zealand, yes. You're going to bring up these two things.
Yeah.
And this last thing I have to talk about last.
Okay,
It has to be
throw
last.
one of those things to me and I'll describe it real quick.
Okay, last week we had a basketball game with Fountain Central.
Yes. Well, we'll talk about that in the big section.
Okay.
Yes.
Craig,
Yes.
you went with Mr. and Mrs. Carfault to Indiana State to see what?
Okay. So we got an email. Oh, it's been a couple weeks ago now, where the criminology department at Indiana State got a hold of us and said, "Hey, you have a computer science department. You have a criminology kids going to criminology, that kind of stuff. Do you want to come down and take like a planned visit?" As our microphone gets broken, it's fine. Just snapped off. He's too strong for his own good. But we have a lot of stuff we can offer down here at Indiana State. We're kind of a smaller university, but we have like a one-on-one mentality, that kind of thing, a hands-on mentality. So Mr. and Mrs. Carfault and I hopped in the SUV. It's okay. It's not you ringing this time.
No.
Okay. Hopped in the SUV and went down to Indiana State, got to check out a really, really cool program. So we got to check out their cybersecurity department, which is now department of the criminology. It's a kind of a branch of their departments. Criminology now at Indiana State is the biggest department on campus. Like the most kids at Indiana State go to criminology out of any of the other majors.
He's trying to impress me. And
I'm not trying to impress you.
went
I'm
to
just,
Ball State.
I'm validating my dislike of Joey's comment from 2 weeks ago. That's all I'm trying to do right here. But they branched the criminology department into 3 different branches now. They have the standard like policing one, which was kind of what I was in when I was at Indiana State.
Yeah.
They have the cybersecurity one, which has kind of been prominent since 2017, 2018 when they made the official split. Mm-hmm. And then they have an intelligence analysis department, which is basically spy school. So it's taking in all this kind of intelligence and what do you do with it and how do you get it out?
And where do you learn how to adapt a car so that it has rockets that shoot out of the fenders?
You learn that at home after you learn how to hotwire. But it's really cool. We're looking at taking some kids down there on a trip, potentially, checking out their cybersecurity department, checking out basically everything. We're taking some CS kids and maybe some other kids as well. But really cool opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
And then
What year did you graduate?
A long time ago, Stock. That's all we're going to tell the people out in podcast land.
But you said the whole campus has changed dramatically.
There's a lot different buildings, more buildings. They've renovated a lot of stuff. It's easier to get around, honestly, a little bit. And but once you get inside Homestead, it's old Homestead. So that's where I spend a lot of time.
Terre Haute's still a horrible city to drive.
Oh, how dare you? It doesn't smell like it used to.
Really?
No, it really doesn't.
Okay.
Maybe that's post-COVID nose. But
I don't know the last time I was down there.
Yeah, my last time I was down there was Saturday for the bargain bins. All right. Anything else you want to mention before we move on, Stock? We've got the big game as our next thing, and we'll bring on our guest.
When am I doing my rants?
Oh, I need to change something as well. We'll do it after talking about the big game. So
Okay.
we're bringing on Dean Sowers. Hey, how's it going?
Well, hey. Hey, guys.
So this was kind of your baby. This is kind of your initiative, or you're one of the big people behind it. We had a game against Fountain Central, Covington's big rival, and we talked about this a little bit last week, where kids thought that Attica was our rival.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, neither did we. It was kind of up in the air, tossed
Maybe
around.
for certain sports in certain years,
I think,
maybe.
from years ago, I think it was.
Yeah.
But no
So we were playing our traditional rival, Fountain Central, in a basketball game, and kind of lay the background on what happened and how that came to be.
Sure. So obviously everybody knew we had the game coming up as a Thursday game because of girls sectional. And so we heard that they were doing like a student appreciation night. So not trying to outdo them,
But trying to outdo them.
and without really knowing what they were doing, we decided to make our own package for our own kids.
Yeah.
So we did. We offered. Oh man, so we had a meal. Overpass Pizza made 40 pizzas for the kids, and then the Beef House donated 300 sandwiches. And then we got on the bus. We 3 gracious bus drivers took us on fan buses. We took 110, 115 kids on buses. And then every kid that went to the game that night got a free Trojan Nation t-shirt, and we paid for their way to get into the game.
And a goodie bag.
And a goodie bag.
Yeah.
Mrs. Smalls helped with that for sure.
Absolutely.
Some
That was really
bandanas
cool.
and necklaces and face tattoos. We put some bags of chips in there, and everybody got a drink when they got there. And so there's a lot of reasons, I would say, that we did it. One, I'll be honest, we know a lot of kids don't get that opportunity a whole lot.
Sure.
And so this is an opportunity to be a part of it.
And that's with home games, not even away games.
Yeah.
Some of these kids wouldn't even have thought about an away game. Yeah.
And so
This kind of came up too because of the winter tournament, the holiday tourney. Is that right?
Well, it was on Thursday because of the girls sectional. So girls sectional was on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday or Friday. Yeah.
Oh, no, didn't Fountain Central beat us in the holiday tourney?
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat
Yeah.
us.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think they thought that, I don't know. Honestly, we just heard they're doing something for their kids. It's go time. And so they ended up the first 100 kids to theirs got a free t-shirt, and they gave me each a hot dog and a drink, I think.
And they are the Mustang Maniacs.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty cool though. We ended up having 229 kids go.
And also staff too.
17 staff went to help chaperone and to help take care of it. It was I don't know.
The
It
atmosphere
was one of the coolest
intense.
nights I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. The atmosphere was intense.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it was a good game. We got beat by 4 or 5? 5 points.
Yep.
Okay.
37-32.
Okay.
Yep.
And so, but just seeing the kids there, and honestly, like one of my biggest excitements so far from it, I haven't heard one kid complain about anything.
No, it was
Usually you get
great
some straggling comments like, well,
Yeah.
I'm bored. Haven't heard one kid say one negative thing.
No,
A
it
lot
was
of
awesome.
thank yous. And then after the game, a lot of people commended our kids highly because I don't know, we're talking about this later, but the ambassador group, we clean up usually the students section and maybe some surrounding space with trash bags. Coach Brown brought trash bags for this thing, and our students cleaned the entire gym.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
I kicked some pom pom remains down the stairs for them.
Yeah, it was nice. And so I'm really excited about that. I think that's way bigger than any individual score.
Oh, absolutely.
Stuff like that.
And that's Trojan Pride, which is one of our questions.
Yeah, it really. I mean, I think it captured a huge picture of who our kids are and what we're doing right now, and like you said, staff wise. I mean, administration, teachers, elementary brought 7.
Yeah.
They had 7 people come, for the whole night.
Bus drivers were awesome.
came. I mean, our administration is Coach Brown, Mrs. Garfield, Mrs. Hardy. They all pitched in money to this. Mr. Scott pitched in money. We had some donations from the community pitched in. So it was a pretty cool night. So a night like this, I mean, you're talking thousands of dollars to do something like this.
Oh, yeah.
But like in the end, sometimes you're like, man, was it really worth it to do this?
Yeah.
I'm all about it.
100% worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple things real quick. Shout out to Landon Cook. He was working at Overpass Pizza the night you put that
absolutely.
big order in. They did 40 pizzas in 58 minutes, if Valley's Facebook post is to be believed.
That's awesome.
Which is
You used to
insane.
work there.
I used to work there, and that is an insane number of pizzas in a very, very short window. But we got the pizzas, and they were fresh, and they were ready to go. And
The meal was excellent.
man, shout out to the Beef House. Shout out to Overpass Pizza. Also, I knew it was going to be a crazy night when we got there just before the JV tip. And our kids were walking in together just before the JV tip, and it was really cool to see. But they immediately got to screaming and shouting and got into the chants and everything. And it was rocking during the JV game, which was also a great game. Went into overtime. 20-20 at the end of regulation was not enough to settle it, Stock.
Well, the week before at Covington, I counted in the student block because I was trying to figure out what would 200 plus kids look like. And I looked over at our stands at a home game and I counted like 125, 130. I was like, man, that's a lot of kids. And this almost doubled that number.
Yeah.
At an
It was
away
insane.
game.
At an away game. It was crazy. I mean, I think we definitely had more kids there. Not that it's a competition.
Peggy just commented, you'll enjoy this.
What is it, Peggy?
She said, Covington Crazies are so much better than Mustang Maniacs, with several exclamation points. We love you, Peggy. We absolutely love you. But yeah, what a great night.
Yeah.
What a great time
absolutely.
for kids to get together and scream in unison and kind of have like a collective experience.
Absolutely.
I had a lot of fun. I was one of the chaperones. I had a lot of fun with that. Yeah.
And like you said, Ryan, some kids never have an opportunity like this. Not naming names, but I've heard several adults say, I was so happy to see this kid there
good.
having fun.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's great to hear that. I love it.
And percentage wise, I read your email and it was over 50% of our students were involved in this.
Yeah, and that's who we had accounted for, right? And so
And
some
didn't
kids
ride over with us. Yeah.
Right. Some kids, I think, probably went with their parents, missed the boat, didn't sign up or whatever the case.
Yeah.
So percentage-wise, I'd say we were close to, with the players, managers, cheerleaders, student block, middle school and high school, we were going to be right at 60% of our student base traveled to an away game to cheer.
That's insane.
That's so much fun.
Yeah.
And even
That's
kids
really,
that,
really cool.
told me before they don't like basketball or whatever, they found themselves, I talked to a few during the game, they found themselves pumped. Because, you're there for one reason. You're a team. I mean, you're a team just with everybody else. Everybody else wearing black and gold. So I thought it was just a unifying factor for our school and what we're
But it's kind of cool to see how it affected the game, even because it kind of seemed like both teams were rattled, JV and varsity.
Yeah.
Low scoring games, both crowds were screaming and like jumping up and down, and it was influencing the game, I think, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Really cool, though. Really cool experience. If you haven't seen pictures or anything like that, we got some. Greg Flint's got some really cool stuff. He stitched a picture and put it on Facebook last night, and it's fantastic. A lot of people have been giving shout outs to our kids for cleaning up the bleachers and all that, and I think it was just a fantastic experience for everybody involved.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So really cool. And that was one of the things you wanted to talk about anyway, Stock, right? So anything else you want to talk about before you get to your big rants?
No, because that one has to be last.
It's okay. It's rant time. Go ahead,
It's right time.
Hit it.
Wait, what's my lower third?
Your lower third is whatever you want it to be, dude.
What should my lower third be, Ryan?
I can change your lower third. Right now it says na Catman. So if you want something different,
That's appropriate.
that is appropriate. It's always appropriate.
We can leave it there.
Okay, I'll slide it out for you.
Since we just talked about the basketball game, question for you, Ryan. Do they still serve pepper bellies in the concession stand?
Yeah, we talked about this before.
At Fountain Central?
Well,
I don't
anywhere. Do we serve them?
Yes. Yeah. They're different from what they used to be, I would say. Like the chili sauce and stuff's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we serve, it's just because it's just some chips. Usually it's corn chips, but sometimes
chips,
people
yeah.
like tortilla chips.
Yeah.
It's that with
Because they're sadists.
chili, cheese. But like the old school pepper belly, they ask it for a lot of the options.
Yeah.
The old school, and they used to put everything on
Yeah.
the corn chips. It's slightly varied, but resemblant.
Okay.
Matt Fry, before you move on, commented, pepper bellies deserve to be a food group of their own.
Matt Fry.
Hey, that's a
still-
dinner element for us some nights.
Hey, so small. Okay, you know what? I've got a small rant.
Okay.
But I'll wait for the section.
No,
every
you go
time.
ahead.
Are you
You
sure?
go ahead.
The price of corn chips.
Oh yeah.
Go to the store and look at the corn
Yeah.
chip price. They're way
at-
higher than anything
Look
else.
at any price.
It is,
Well,
but
eggs.
corn chips. I don't get corn chips. Like literally $5 a bag for the small bags. So I saw they had at Meijer like buy one get one whatever. I bought like 6 bags.
Oh,
A few
absolutely.
months ago, and I ate pepper bellies for a month straight. I got the Herdez cheese with the Hormel chili.
You love that cheese.
Oh, my
It's pretty good.
goodness.
It's
Watch
pretty
out.
good.
I know.
I like the Aldi corn chips just because they leave that grease on your fingers.
Corn chips. I don't know what it is. They're so good.
It's pretty insane.
Something that I noticed that is ridiculous now at the store. They used to have the iced animal crackers in that tall, narrow bag.
Yeah.
It's now about half that size, but they charge about the same price.
Jerks.
I'm telling you.
I can't stand
We'll start a corn chip.
them.
And animal crackers.
Independent corn chip company.
Yeah.
American made corn chips.
Yeah.
Made in USA. It can't be that hard to make, right?
No, it shouldn't be.
I wonder, you like grind it into like a masa or something like that and then kind of like a tortilla? I don't know.
Sure.
We're going to have to figure it out. If we're going to make this happen, stock, we're going to have to figure it out. All right. You had rant stop.
Rant number 2.
Yeah.
I have never understood this. A kid is turned around talking. You tell them, please turn around, please stop talking. And then they start complaining, why doesn't he like me? Why is he being mean to me?
Yeah. I mean, I just do that in regular conversation with people too.
I mean, that's
Just please turn around and stop talking to me.
27 years of teaching. And
Well,
I'm not saying I don't like you. Just stop talking.
that's one of the points we bring up a lot. It's kids don't change. Like
No.
that happened 27 years ago,
Yeah.
and it's going to happen 27 years from now, right? They're going to do what they want to do in certain situations.
Yep.
Yeah. Guys, that pepper belly conversation really got me thinking. There's a real answer to this. What is the best local concession stand? And I'll tell you, it's a conference team, and they're fairly close to
You're
us.
going to say North Vermilion.
It is North Million. It's the North Million meal. It's so good.
But listen, we have cotton candy.
We
in
do
our
have
middle
cotton
school
candy.
stand.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
ice cream.
But Rockville has the best pretzels.
Rockville has
Yeah.
the best pretzels. Are they a certain kind or?
I don't know what they are, but they're light and fluffy, and they have the cheddar cheese rather than the nacho cheese.
Oh, I have a different answer.
Wait, do you like cheddar better than nacho?
yeah.
Gosh, I have a better,
Oh, yeah.
I have a better
Oh,
answer.
goodness.
You guys will enjoy this as
I'll eat-
well.
I can't.
I'll eat nacho, but
That Herdez cheese.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Tell you
it
about
is.
Yeah,
that.
it's really
It
good.
is.
So I changed my answer.
okay.
Just because of one night. So, we work with Kiss Country and we go to a lot of different ball games. South Vermilion had I think it was a prom or after prom fundraiser, and they had fresh baked Mrs. Field cookies.
Oh, wow.
That's old school.
They had a toaster oven out on the
Yeah.
on the table. Oh my goodness, it was fantastic. You walked out in the hallway and you smelled the chocolate chip cookies. it
Didn't
was
Covington
fantastic.
used to have Otis Spunkmeyer fresh baked
We
cookies?
did, and I'm trying to think if that was a COVID thing or not, because for COVID, everything had to be prepackaged
Yeah.
and set out before. So a lot of the ways to get food changed.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yeah.
those were dynamite. It used to be like 3 for $1 or something.
Yeah. I remember those all the way back to Leonard Orr days.
Ooh, back in the day.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Where they'd come in like their own special packaging.
Yep.
The white with the red lettering.
Yep.
Oh, man.
And
See,
how many Otis
the things you
Spunkmeyer
remember.
Mrs. Fields cookies could you eat with some Prime 41 milk?
Oh, my goodness.
All of them.
All of them.
Seriously, like
Give me a
what's
case
all? I don't know. How many you got?
until you have to roll me down the stairs to
Exactly.
get me out of there. Holy moly. That's crazy. Any more rant stock before we move to kind of the big plug for the day?
No?
Okay. So the big section we're looking at today is not a new idea. I say you've been kicking this around for a while, but went headlong into it this year, and you've got a great group of kids. So if you want to talk to us about the ambassador program and what that entails and who's involved with it and what you guys actually do, they are fantastic. And I'll give you a quick story about volleyball once you tell us about that.
So we did, I got the idea from Brownsburg High School years ago. Before a game, a high school basketball game, they had a girl walk out in the middle of the floor and do the pregame announcements, and nobody listens to the pregame announcements.
Was this when Joey worked there?
No.
Same, Peggy. I missed the cookies too.
This was before.
I'm talking to our chatters. This is great.
It was before Joy worked there. But, I mean, it was years ago. I mean, Ballard was coaching the game. I mean, it's probably been, I don't know, it's been a while. This girl goes out with a microphone, does the pregame announcements, and everybody listened. You could have heard a pin drop. I mean, it was like completely silent, which usually nobody even hears the pregame announcements because its voice is like an adult, guy or girl, and
It just
people
gets
are
drowned
talking.
out.
Yeah, people are talking, big deal, whatever. This girl goes out there, and it's the same message. Be nice to each other, be nice to the referees, be nice to the players. And so I just remember, like, this is it. And so, like, I kind of looked into it a little bit, and they had, I don't remember what they called theirs, but kind of an ambassador type of program to where they had kids working the games. They were helping people find out where the restrooms were, the concessions were, somebody needed help carrying a drink or whatever. And so I did. I kicked around for a couple of years, and my mind was like, if I'm ever in an administrative position, I would love to start this and do this. I've got to be at the games anyways, and so might as well like this. And so we did it with the middle school a couple of years ago, and the biggest game we did was is it the alumni game or throwback game or something?
Oh, yeah, Covington Fountain Central game.
Yeah, it was
over the middle school
over
gym.
The middle school gym.
The NPR for those,
What was it,
not
or was
the
it the
NPR,
Turkey Run?
the old gym for those of you.
Remember that was the last Turkey Run game? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
But it was
I've
full.
slept since then.
And so what it is really our kids, they welcome people into the gym. They do a pregame announcement. They help with trash in between quarters. We help find people get seats. If there's elderly people, this happens numerous times actually. Elderly people need a place to sit. They'll kind of clear out a seat somewhat close for them to sit in. After the game, they stay and pick up trash a little bit. And that's just for basketball games. They've done other things in the past. And so we put it in this year. So we have Leighton and Hallie, Lauren, Tyra, and Oliver are a part of it. It's our 5 ambassadors. And they are just rocking it. I mean, they're dominating this to the point where, like, the other students, I mean, this is what we wanted too. So after the game, like, just a small thing, the trash bags come out. We have little yellow Dollar General bags. Other high school students that aren't ambassadors are asking, where are the bags at? So it's kind of infiltrated. We do, I mean, they've done radio announcements on 103.1. I think they're on 92.9 as well. Mrs. Carfalt and I were kind of working on that one with them. Basically just as plugs for our school. So every weekend there's a radio announcement on 103.1. I think it plays like 24 or 48 times in a weekend. And right now it's those kids doing those announcements.
Yeah,
so their voice is getting out there. I'm pretty excited for that.
And past podcast guest Anna is on one of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so it's just the idea of ambassador, somebody to take care of and to show ownership of their school. So far, I think it's rocking.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a great group of kids this year too.
Don't tell them that though.
Oh, I won't.
We don't want to
We're not going to broadcast this. This isn't going live. This isn't going public. Just a quick story about one of them in the ambassador program. Stock, you were relieved that I was able to show up at Digs for Dudes or
Yes,
Digs and Dudes, so
very
you didn't
much
have to
so.
announce.
Very much so.
Big shout out to Sowers for watching my esports kids that night while I was down at Digs and Dudes.
I would
Did a
love
great
to
job.
see-
Had a blast.
Let's pause that. I would love to see Dad play some video games.
Well, you've seen
With
him
the
play video
esports team.
games. It's called solitaire.
That's true.
Hey, these minds ain't gonna sweep themselves, right? Ked is a spider solitaire expert. and Klondike solitaire expert.
See, my dad just sticks with the basic solitaire.
You're gonna love this. That was the last thing he said before I went down to the volleyball game. Was, "Hey, I'm gonna play some solitaire on your computer." All right, bud, you got it. But I get down there, keep a scoreboard, announcing, had a great time talking to Stock the whole night, and
Finding my wallet.
finding your wallet, bringing it the next day. I would have freaked out. Well, we can talk about that too. But Lauren Kiffin was sitting down to my right, and she said, "Hey, before we start, do you want me to do my spiel?" And I said, "Lauren, do you know what you're supposed to say?" And she says, "Oh, I've got it memorized."
They're supposed to.
I was like, "That's fantastic. Here's the microphone." She said, "Not tonight."
That's very
But you've got great kids. They're fun. Really great time.
I've got a story about Leighton, but you were there. He was greeting people at the door, and one of the things he was supposed to do is greet people with a smile, but he thought he misinterpreted it as people were supposed to smile when they saw him.
Well, that would be nice if they did.
A little historical context. Peggy's giving us historical context now.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Okay.
She says it was Turkey Run since they were going in with Rockville to become Park Heritage.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you almost were to the point where you almost forget Turkey Run was a school. You know?
Almost.
Yeah. I do miss the 3/4 sleeve powder blue shirts that they would play basketball in.
Those were sweet.
Those were fantastic.
First time I went to a baseball game down there, I almost got lost in the backwoods. That is the strangest setup they
Interesting,
have.
isn't it? Yeah.
I don't know about that, Stock.
No, but they, I will say the,
don't know about that at all.
The ambassador group is actually, they've picked me up too a little bit. You know, it's a fun group of kids. They're really good to be around.
Oh, yeah.
It's to the point where, I mean, we do anything. We've gone out to eat a couple times for our meetings. So, you know, for any kids out there that want to be ambassadors in the future, we've gone. I think we went to Grossberger, that new place over in Tilton area. And I went to Arnie's, and we're looking at our next meeting spot again. But we just do some fun stuff. We train there's some Chick-fil-A training videos that we go by.
Oh,
They're really
nice.
good. And so, because like you think about like
Do they say my pleasure?
we don't.
Okay.
No, but
We need our own,
Like-
Trojan Pride.
it's basically like you've got to it's the idea of putting others over yourself in every situation.
Yeah.
And Chick-fil-A is dynamite with that, like how they do that. And so there's actually a couple of videos that I've got off of YouTube that they've already watched. We haven't gone over them yet, but it's the premise of who we are. It's basically like, I think in one of the videos, the guy's like, it's a Chick-fil-A guy. He rolls up to a Chick-fil-A like 5 minutes before they close, which is kind of the don't go time.
Yeah.
And they took care of him like crazy, got the chairs back out, and just really were very hospitable, which is what we're trying to do and accomplish. And so it's cool stuff. I enjoy being around them. It's a good group.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a pretty good
It's
deal.
excellent.
Yeah. So, Stock, have you had any interactions with the ambassadors? Yeah, I know you've seen them coming in the doors and stuff like that.
Yeah, just Leighton not smiling.
You've heard the pregame announcements.
I don't really go to the game.
Oh my goodness. Homecoming.
You do when you're homecoming.
Well, yeah, homecoming.
Yeah, and see, you'll get it senior night.
I cannot sit in those seats.
Yeah, that's
it hurts
fair.
my back.
That's fair.
It truly does.
That was a TikTok rant of stocks.
That was on the last TikTok. Oh, let's plug that real quick before we get into the speed round. You have a TikTok account that's associated with the school.
Yeah, I'm really good at it too.
Really good at it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm a small child with TikTok.
it's amazing, and maybe you can speak to this. It's amazing how many kids and parents get their information from social media. Not even like the school's Facebook page or anything like that, but Instagram. We have people talk all the time about how they get their information from CHS 247 Instagram, like what's going on that night, and like your TikTok. Like people will get on there and they know the dress up days because you've done that before, Stock.
Well, I've been
the dress
forced
up
to do
days.
that.
There's no forcing anything. Those are pretty fun. though.
Forced to do that.
They are.
Yeah. So, do you find there's more investment with the TikTok piece? Do you have people talking about it? What's
Yeah, I think it's more than information, right? It's not just written text. There's, instead of just saying Monday, your dress up day is pajama day, because that's Stock's favorite. Instead of Monday being
big fan of the podcast?
it's actually Stock dressing up, like with pajamas on. And so there's, I don't know. You're learning through text, you're learning through sight. Kids retain that a lot better. And views wise, I don't know how many kids check their email on a daily basis here. Probably like 3, maybe 5.
I would say if you put it as a decimal and then rounded that to a percentage, it's probably 0.
Maybe.
It's possible. But like TikTok wise, it does get a ton of views. And even if it's parents, a lot of parents, I think, follow me on there. Mm-hmm. They're getting the information. And I think it's more of a fun way too. So, I haven't checked it today or yesterday, but I mean, usually let me check it right now. You guys are on the last video.
Yeah. Well, while you're checking that, I'll give a plug real quick. You can also buy a yearbook at yearbookforever.com.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can pick up an order form from either the office or my door, room 204 up here in the high school. Those are available. I'm going to talk to the seniors at a later date, and I need to talk to you and Miss Davis about this when we can get everybody together.
Okay.
Because I want to put out the ads as well, so they can.
Do you want to mention the shirts now too?
Yeah. So Peggy's aware that we're looking at shirts. There's going to be a Google form in our description, and we'll share it on the next podcast as well. And for a little while, people have asked us about shirts. If you'd like a shirt, we're not trying to make money on this, but we're also destitute teachers, so we don't want to front all the cost all the time either. We're going to put out a little form. It's going to be in the description of this video. We'll share it in the future of what color you'd like. If you've walked around the hallways, you've seen Mrs. Cotton. She wears the white shirt.
Yep.
Stock and I both have black shirts and orange shirts.
Yep.
So if you want to see what they look like in real life, you've got 3 of the, I think, 6 or 7 options. Yep. So we will be sharing that out and kind of make an official color choice later on.
If you want to see both black and orange, watch our Halen Noble episode.
Yeah, 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, 2 episodes ago.
Yep,
We're
absolutely.
both wearing those.
Okay, good deal. So let's hear about these TikTok stats.
Well, I don't know much about stats wise, but obviously we know that there's not a lot of email checking throughout the day with people. But I would say right now, on all these videos, stock, you're actually in a lot of these.
Ooh, that's the forcing part.
Hey, let's do Nacho Bar tomorrow. This is one of them. Let's do Nacho. We're gonna do Nacho Bar.
Forget Nacho Bar. We're doing Pepper Belly Bar.
Pepper Belly Bar.
Pepper Belly Bar.
Peggy,
Yes.
can you get the cafeteria to make pepper bellies?
Dude, I'll go get it tonight.
You're directly talking to her through the comments now.
Why not?
I gotta get. I love this cheese though.
I guarantee you right now she's jumping up and down in her house.
I can't deal with it without Herdez cheese.
Herdez cheese,
we need
Hormel
that.
chili, jalapenos. We got that. Sour cream, salsa. Boom. Tomorrow's Pepper Belly Day.
Okay.
Oh man, that does sound good. I'm in.
Oh, nice. Let's do it.
I was planning on being sick tomorrow, but I'll come in for that.
No, I would say
moly.
1 to 3,000 views probably for the last however many, which not
On
a
average.
crazy amount. I mean, some of them are crazy high, but that's like the homecoming ones. But like on an average, I'd say 1 to 3,000. But when you compare that to email stuff like that, I think this is getting viewed quite a bit.
Well, you also have to realize that, like, we don't have that many kids in our school corporation.
Yeah.
So,
about
like-
300.
So, like, you're talking high school, a little less than 300 probably. But you're talking the entire school corporation. You're getting more views than we have kids in the school. So, you're reaching parents, grandparents, people in the community, kids that are sharing it with other kids.
Are those,
So, reach is good.
but each person who views it, I know nothing about TikTok.
I'll
just say
tell
that
you
right now.
exactly.
Each person is not seeing it only once. I'm sure there are repeat views.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once
You
it
get
scrolls
so
by,
many.
you get a view.
Each person gets 3 at a time. Or
It's
something.
it's something smaller like that. YouTube, you have to watch for 30 seconds consecutively before it counts as a view. So when we're hitting F5 to try to increase our view, no, that doesn't happen. Peggy, if you want to hit F5 a bunch and refresh this,
F5.
watch it for 30 seconds, then F5 again.
F5.
No, just kidding. We do appreciate everybody that hangs out with us and watches with
Matt
us.
Fry, too. We know
Matt
you're
Fry.
Matt Fry, F5.
Yeah, F5. He said Covington's population is 2,660.
Who said that?
Matt Fry said that.
Nerd.
You said it's like Freddy Krueger. You said his name and he appeared. That's amazing.
He said Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. What? Bloody Mary. Remember that one from when we were. He said Covington's population is 2,660. I'd say those are solid numbers. I would agree. Like that's the numbers of the town or more. It's the FC people getting intel. Sketch emails, right? Kids don't
It's
check.
going to private now. I did take the comments off. That was a good suggestion somebody had when I first started it. Hey, take the comments off. I'm like, no big deal. Literally, the first video, we had like 3 or 4 kids going back and forth at each other, and it's just going to turn into
Yeah.
just
Matt says he knows how to use Google. We knew we taught you something here at Covington.
Hey.
Oh, love you guys. That's great. All right. You guys want to talk about anything specific before we head to the speed round so we can get you guys on your way today?
Were we going to talk about my wallet?
Do you want to talk about your wallet? That's kind of embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's
Okay,
just
good.
me.
You have a really nice wallet. Is that lambskin?
I don't know what it is, but
It's really nice. I didn't know you had a really nice wallet.
it's fairly new. I've had it less than a year.
So Stock pulled his regular, I'm going to leave before the thing's over.
Well, no, you have
on
to,
Digs and Dudes.
You have to understand where I was sitting.
You had something to go to as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And you have to understand where I was sitting. There's this narrow table that they stick in the middle of the bleachers, and then
He crawled behind it, which
to
if
get
there's
in and
security
out.
video of this, we need to bring that up because it's amazing to watch.
to get in and out, I'm squeezing in and squeezing out, and my wallet worked its way out.
Squeezed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving the school, and I did the the pat every pocket routine.
Yep.
And I get to my butt pocket, and there's nothing there.
I have a term for that check, but I can't say it on air.
Okay.
I'll tell
That's
you
a
later.
horrible feeling, though.
It is. It really is.
Did you get the roller coaster like gut drop feeling?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's the
definitely.
worst.
Do you count? Like, do you, when you feel like, because I do 3 every time: keys, phone, wallet.
I actually say keys, phone, wallet.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say it out loud.
Yeah.
I'm going to check next time.
That's another question
great.
coming.
Oh, yeah. We need to add that.
Oh my goodness.
As soon as I realized it wasn't there, that's when I texted you two.
Yeah.
And then you texted back and you said, got it.
Yeah, which was good that you texted that quickly because it was underneath the lip
Oh, was it?
on the back of the seats. Yeah, it was hidden. I couldn't see it just looking
Okay.
down. I was like, well, the old man's finally lost it. he's delirious. It's
Yeah.
in the parking lot somewhere. But it was underneath that lip, like hidden,
Yeah.
tucked under. And I was
Okay.
like, glad you said something.
Yeah.
So I kept it in my hoodie pocket the rest of the night. I was like, hey, make sure I remember this in the morning.
Yeah. But
I didn't give that to you. Did I just drop that on your desk?
no, it was the next morning.
Did I drop it on your desk?
Well, you walked in and handed it.
Oh,
to me.
okay,
Yeah,
good.
I was there.
I was contemplating just leaving it in front of your door.
But you've said a couple of times that you would have had to have it right then and there.
Oh yeah, I can't deal without my wallet. I can deal without my cell phone, but the wallet's one of those things that I need to have on me. Probably because I was defrauded twice in a week.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Do you remember when I lost my wallet at the Hillsboro barbecue? The street
Oh, I
fair?
remember the street fair.
And I had to go up and explain what my wallet looked like. And it had like an Indian guy in the front, and it was like,
Oh yeah, it was like Indian bead around the sides.
Yeah.
Black and
I
white.
think we got that actually.
We got both. We got
Arizona?
matching sets. Yes.
We were pretty sweet. We were pretty
Yes.
cool kids. But I had to explain it, and I got it. They had found it and got it back. No money in it.
Yeah.
And I think like, man, it probably had like $100, but now I'm like, probably had like $1.50.
So your retribution to Fountain Central is bringing 300 kids over and having them scream. Yes,
no,
I remember that wallet. That would not fly now. That would not be
Yeah.
PC
No.
heaven forbid.
because it looked like the Red Man logo.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't worried about my wallet because, thanks to Grandma Sowers, I guess we're the 3 Sowers boys.
That's right.
And I knew if Craig's got it, it's fine.
Yeah, you're good. We're not going to let it go. But yeah, we got lucky there.
Speaking of that, for her real quick.
Yes.
We talked to Joni at the game.
Yeah. Shout out to Joni. I've known Joni since, oh my goodness, forever.
Yeah. Joni was a friend of Christie's from back in the day, right? And so we're talking about her, and I just told her, like, I feel like you're the next Grandma Sowers of Wallace. Or honestly, like,
Hey, what a compliment, though.
yeah. And she said she has every time she gets quail eggs, she kind of wants to pick the phone up and call Grandma. Because I guess Grandma was a fan of quail eggs.
That sounds right. That sounds
pickled
right.
pig's feet.
It'd be pickled quail eggs, probably.
And yeah.
But yeah, she was a fun one. But yeah, shout out to Joni. She's been around for a while. Known her for a while, and she's been a great person the whole time. Speed round.
Speed round.
The speed round. Stock.
Let's do it.
You've been kind of our guy for the speed round lately.
Okay.
So
Ryan,
go ahead.
how'd you get to Covington?
Well, I'm from here.
All right, moving on.
Next question. What is
Next.
No, it was pretty simple. I left for college. I was gone for college, and I was in Evansville coaching at the university, coaching baseball at the university, and
Volunteer coaching.
volunteer coaching. Yeah, I was. And Kent Cheesham called and said, "Hey, there's a special education opening, and soccer is open." And so Carrie and I, we kind of saw the writing on the wall in Evansville and called old Mr. Nate Evans up, and he gave us an interview.
What a mustache.
Yeah, that was pretty classic.
What?
So we interviewed and
But he
took
never
the
had a
job.
beard.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fair.
it was a sweet mustache, though.
It's a great mustache.
And so that was it. And so that was in 2000. I'm really not sure. It was probably 2008-ish.
2000 question mark.
2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been here for a while.
Well, let me think. Bill passed away in 2008, and I called you that
So
day.
I was here.
No, you were on the road with your baseball team.
Okay, so I was here in 08, 09 then. So
Yeah,
when was that?
it was June '08.
June. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was getting ready to come back home.
Stock, your memory on stuff like that never ceases to amaze me.
Well, everything revolves around important dates, and when your
goodness.
cat dies of cancer, that's an important date.
I know 12/15 because that's when King John signed the Magna Carta. That's the only date I remember for anything.
Unbelievable. That was maybe the best cat ever. There's a couple cats that I hold up as like,
Yeah.
Bill was awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you always said about him?
That he always had like leather jacket.
Yeah, he's so cool. If he were human, he'd wear a leather jacket and smoke cigarettes.
Perfect.
He
But
was
it's
a
true.
great cat, though.
It's true, though.
Kids, cigarettes are
Him and
the old school
Adrian's
version
cat.
of vape.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's very true. No, Adrian's cat at Charleston.
Oh, Dixie.
Dixie.
Yeah, I remember Dixie.
There's a couple cats that I hold in high esteem.
Yeah.
Bill was one of them. That was a great cat.
Yeah.
Did you ever brush his teeth?
No,
Because
brushed one of them.
Adrian did that
I tried
every
to do
night.
Ajax,
Okay, yeah.
and no, it didn't work.
Do you remember that whole routine where he would brush his cat's teeth every night?
I'm gonna send this show to Van.
Yes.
Vandy, we're talking about your old cat.
Love you,
I messaged
Vandy.
him the other day though because I was like, man, I really miss your cat.
Well, how old
that
did
died, like,
Dixie?
10 years ago.
Well, how old did Dixie end up being?
I don't think he was that old. He died of something, but like I remember when I went back my junior year at Charleston because I moved. I mean, it was what 12, 13 hours away.
Sure, long
So
drive.
I went through the first semester, had a month of Christmas break, and I was just so sad to go back because like I got on the road good with Vandy, but like nobody was going to be there when I got back. So I'm back to the apartment. Now I'm back to an empty apartment. My family, my girlfriend, my friend, everybody's back in Covington or back in Indiana. I was just bumming, and that cat came into my room and slept on my pillow. And I was like, "You have now reached it. You've reached the pinnacle, cat. Like you are my favorite.
Let
cat."
me brush your teeth.
And so, yeah, but it's a cool cat.
Yeah,
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Just the kind of care he put into it. That's great.
Yeah.
Yours the same way, Stocky, with your cat rehab.
Yep.
And your care for
Hey,
animals.
I'm a part-time worker at that.
Yeah. Oh, that's
yeah,
true.
you are.
Part-time cat care.
And Marin, Marin's
kids.
Marin's the actual. Like,
She's going to be something.
Marin's half cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, she's half frog. Does she still hop
oh
around?
Lord, no, we stopped that.
Okay. We've already touched on this, but what does Trojan Pride mean to you?
I don't think there's one. I don't have one statement. I don't.
It's kind of a loaded question.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I think of instances more than a statement on this. I think of the ambassadors. I think of that idea that we're all ambassadors of this. I mean, if you're working here, going to school here, random this morning, we picked up trash outside before school.
Yeah.
Like things like that, like putting others over yourself comes to my mind. Taking responsibility of who you are, not just being you yourself, but like we always said to the soccer kids, hey, Stock and I coached soccer together for a long time too.
Oh, that's true.
Talk about that later. But like, you have Covington or Trojans on your jersey. Like that's who you are. That's who you're representing right now. So act like it. Cleaning up the bus, making sure there's not a speck of dirt on the bus when you're done with it. It's investing your time, effort, and energy into people around you for the betterment of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah. So the quote that reminds me of the sports part of that is the name on the front's more important than the name on the back.
Yeah.
Right. You're working for the team. You're working for the community, not yourself.
Yeah.
And I think the last few years have been rough. I mean, obviously everybody, but I think not that Thursday's game I don't want to make it sound bigger than it really was, but I think it was a good representation of what's happening with us right now. Like, the kids were excited, staff was excited, the community was excited. Like,
kind of an awakening.
it was. I mean, it was a good moment for who we are with Trojan Pride. And honestly, this sounds so small, but like, the kids were excited to wear their Trojan Nation T-shirts.
Yeah, which we haven't seen in a while.
No, they're pumped to wear it. Like, they're ready to do this thing. So there's a lot more, of course. I mean, there's a lot of halftime speeches that go into this answer. That's what I think of for now.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably the most loaded, difficult question is next, right?
No,
That's the music one.
it's two later.
No, the music one. No, the hard question's two later.
What song describes you?
Well,
We were talking about this before the show.
we were. I don't really have one in particular. I
Or
would
style
say.
of music or
Well,
performance.
90s country.
Yep.
It's going to be 90s country.
Not only that, 70s country.
Yeah, 70s, 80s, and 90s country. I really like that. Stock really loves listening to that. He loves when I put in a George Strait
Very
CD in the car.
specific.
Garth Brooks.
That's when I just want to throw myself out of the car.
That's so true. That really does happen. Stock gives me that look. Like, I'll turn up like little George Strait song. I was like,
And this is it.
and so I would say that I like Johnny Cash a lot. I like Christian music. I listen to that probably more than anything.
Lecrae.
Lecrae, old hymns.
We saw Lecrae, didn't we? At that conference in Indy.
Was he there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, was he there?
I think he was on the schedule.
I think you're right. Yeah, that was
Okay.
pretty cool though.
I feel like we should ask Matt and Peggy. They would probably know more than us at this point.
I like it all. I mean, I like all kinds of music, but I don't know if there's any song that describes me the most. I was joking about Johnny Cash song One Piece at a Time. That has nothing to do with individual life, but I'm not sure. I'd say more genres than anything. And I think 90s country and older country songs tell a story.
Yes, about someone losing a car or a house or a dog.
Yes.
Or a wife.
Or all of the above.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, that's exactly right.
No, it doesn't get much better than like the Oak Ridge Boys, Statler Brothers kind of era of country music.
Let's get on
Yes,
the
it
Oak Ridge
does.
Boys.
Yes, it does.
I saw the Oak Ridge Boys last year and the year before.
Stock, if Duncan Sheik took over one of the positions of the Oak Ridge Boys,
Oh, no.
what would you do?
going.
Would you go to that concert?
We're going, but
Obviously.
I'm taking earbuds too.
Now listen, you know what?
You can't block out 3 voices out of 4.
You owe me an Oak Ridge Boys concert. I went to a Duncan Sheik concert with you.
Oh man, calling in the favors.
Dude, you had so much fun.
Are you really going to hold that against me? I mean, but it was Duncan Sheik. It was amazing.
After listening to the opening act, yes, yes, you're going and you're going to sing Elvira. You're going to sing, you're going to sing the Oompa Mau Mau Part 2.
Oh, I've heard stories. I wish there was video, but I've heard stories.
So I'll sing Elvira and.
Oh my goodness. The Duncan Sheik concert, the opening act was just really
Rough.
a really interesting cat. Yeah.
Not your cup of tea. Yeah, I've heard the stories.
Let's just say he only made one album.
Yeah, right. Got halfway through that one, realized maybe this isn't the direction
I
of my
gave
life.
Stock, I think that the George Strait look at that point. What are we doing here?
Okay, next question. Sock, sock, shoe, shoe, or sock, shoe, and where are your pants?
On. So I thought about this for the first time last night, and
Just last
which is funny because this is
Well, it's something you don't think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I had one sock on, but I didn't have my shoes beside me, so I was going to yell at Javi to bring my shoes over to me.
Fetch me my shoes.
As I was putting on the second sock. And so it would be sock, shoe, shoe. Of course, with my pants already on.
That's the wrong answer.
Yeah.
It's sock, shoe, sock, shoe.
No, it's.
Which is
sock,
much,
sock,
let's be
pants,
honest with you, though,
shoe,
it's as much effort as it takes the older I get to put my shoes on.
That's where I am.
I want to tie those up and, you know what I'm saying? Like socks on, shoes on, and walk out the door.
Oh man, the most frustrating thing, Stock, I had. It's been happening a lot recently because my shoelaces are getting old and worn out. I'll double knot them in the morning.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, it's hard to pull out the double knot.
It is.
But at any point during the day, if I accidentally step on that shoelace with the other shoe,
There it
that
goes.
sucker's right out. I'm out, guys. I'm not going back. Every flipping time.
Have you thought about Velcro or slip-on?
I think about that every day of my life.
Oh, I just bought some Velcro.
That hook and loop is a lifesaver.
Yeah.
You just got some?
Yeah, Goodwill.
All right, there you go.
Some Velcro New Balance.
Well, those are the 2 words that I needed to hear, or 3 words, as it were.
And we can go grill out after it, too.
Yeah. Oh, man. This is the best day ever.
And the two of you've always struggled with shoes because you're like size 15. Is that right?
Yeah. We're
Yeah,
15.
yeah. 15, 16, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always remember Mom got me a pair of really nice dress shoes, those leather ones that were kind of handmade. Do you remember that story?
I mean, you always got everything. But
Well, always, yeah. Because you had to trace your foot on a piece of paper.
wow, I remember this.
And my foot didn't fit on a piece of paper, so we had to tape 2 pieces of paper together and outline my foot so they could make the shoes for me.
that was pre-computer, obviously.
Seriously, just the extra effort it took to get shoes like that size. Oh, it was awesome. I'll always remember that though, because we had to tape them together and then fold it and then put it in the envelope. Oh, good time. Good time was had by all.
Of course. And what would you like your legacy to be at Covington?
Good question. I've listened to almost every guest I think you've had. I think it's going to be comparable. I want kids and staff to know that I genuinely care for them. Mm-hmm. I do. I hope people see Christ in me. I hope something, on all honesty, I've thought about this a lot, like that my children, like after I'm dead and gone and they're 50 years old, that they can hear stories of kindness about Carrie and I, even after we're already gone. It's like we hear stories about our parents. I mean, like you hear those things, and like I want them to have that as part of just, I guess, my legacy, with their legacy too, as symbols of kindness and compassion. And it's the job I have is kind of hard though, because there's a lot of discipline stuff that I have to deal with.
Yeah.
And a lot of intense situations. And so at the end of the day, sometimes like, man, did I really handle that? Like how I should have handled that. And there's a lot of rethinking things, but I would say that's where I would stay. I mean, there's always fun stuff. There's the coaching stuff and the ambassador stuff and the culture stuff. That's all fun stuff, but really it comes down to just like core tenets of life, I would say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Peggy says you play the best music during middle school half times.
I do.
I'm assuming 90s country.
No, I don't.
Wish I Had a Girl, Henry Lee.
Now listen.
Oh, well,
Okay, so if I had a
That's all
song to
you need.
describe me, it would be Henry Lee. I wish I had a girl who walked like that.
and you do.
That's
do.
true. Hey, my favorite
I sing
memory.
that to Carrie.
I love it. My favorite memory of that song. I don't know if you remember this or not, but we had like an Indiana day where we had music playing in the NPR and kids were coming in and dancing and everything. This is several years ago. And I was playing Indiana themed music, like the Jackson 5, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I play Henry Lee. I hear, yeah. And I see Mr. Short sliding in the front door. He's like, Henry Lee. Oh, I love that.
Henry
Love that.
Lee is
So great.
is related through marriage
Yeah.
to my wife.
Yep.
That makes you famous.
Basically does.
He'll still charge you if you ask him to sing.
I know. I want him to come here and sing.
What a great Valentine's concert that would be. Wish I Had a Girl on repeat.
Oh my
goodness. Don't ask him to do a concert. Just ask him to do the one song 15 times.
On the PA system, just play that all day
man.
long.
You know what? You know what we get tomorrow morning?
Yeah, Wish I Had a Girl.
Yeah, we're gonna put
Some Henry Lee. Stock,
do
you're in luck. You get the downstairs music. I don't get that up here.
stock usually. Let me
I don't
tell you
get
about
that up
this guy.
here. Yeah.
Not every day, but I'll play music through the speaker outside of the office when kids come in, and Stock will stand at the other side of the hallway, the other end of the hallway. Am I on the camera?
Oh, yeah.
And Stock will either do this.
Just the sad look of disapproval.
Walks away. Yes. It's perfect. Oh, I love it. Sometimes I do it on purpose. To try to get
I know
fired
you
up.
do.
Oh, never. Never.
No, well,
You got that 90s neon country music playing.
I love it.
All right. Anything else you guys want to mention or bring up before we head out?
I've got one last thing.
Yep.
Brian,
Throw
it
this
is
from
trash
you.
night.
Oh, it
I
is.
still need the text later.
Okay.
Stock has reminded me for
Years.
Several years.
Every Tuesday night, I take that back. Usually every Tuesday night.
Usually.
Sometimes if it's staggered,
Yeah.
like if I have a Thursday trash, it'll mess me Wednesday, and it'll just say trash night every time. And it's
I love
awesome.
it.
I always appreciate it.
I love it.
I don't always message back, but I appreciate it.
So happy Trash Eve to everyone.
Yes.
It is a lovely Trash Eve outside today.
I tell you, you hit that adult life and you miss a trash day on a big week.
It's
Oh, man.
awful.
Yeah.
The things you enjoy when you're an adult. New socks. Holy moly.
A single guy, you can kind of manage it, but you've got a family of 6.
Yeah, we have 17 in our house now.
Yeah. You need
something
to,
like
you
that.
need to
Feels
upgrade
like
that.
17.
Instead of trash day, it's just dumpster day.
Wait.
Yeah.
You've got 7.
Yeah.
With Tyler.
That's a lot. I've got a lot of dogs. Does that count for anything?
I'm going to talk to Keddy and he'll teach you the facts of life sometime.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Dad,
you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both.
And then you have a Sowers.
The facts of
thank
life.
you. You have a sound.
A new one.
Yeah. They just keep coming.
What is going on?
I don't know where they're coming from.
Oh my goodness. Stock, anything else you want to add before we sign off? It's about time for you to head.
Go Trojans.
Go Trojans as always.
INGTONCOV.
Hey, you bring the cheer up. They were very tentative at the beginning of the evening to do the cheer, but by the end, we had horse kids at the Fountain Central Covington game doing the chants and everything.
We had horse kids the next day, too.
We also had no sandwiches or pizza left on our bus at the end of the night. And walking up and down the aisle, kids just grabbing handfuls. Yeah, it's awesome.
fine.
That's awesome.
It was
That's
great.
okay.
It was fantastic.
awesome.
Anything else you want to mention?
I think I'm good. Thank you guys for
Okay.
having me. You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
let me add this to Trojan Pride. This is a good mark. So props to you guys. This is good for Trojan Pride. I've
Yeah,
heard a lot of
we
good
hope so.
compliments on this.
Yeah.
And what you guys are doing. So keep it up. I think these are
We hope so.
vital to the life of a people.
And if you want to come on, get a hold of us. bagmen@chs247.com is our email address. Send me an email address. Stock has access to it. I know he does this time.
I do, but I've never
Yes.
checked it.
So the truth comes out. All right. We're getting ready to head out.
Like one of the students.
TikTok is to Ryan as email is to me.
Seriously.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're heading out. Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks for commenting, liking. We had really good investment in this episode, which is
I'll share
awesome to
this
see in
on
the community.
Facebook.
Peggy and
Share it
Matt.
on the Facebooks. All right, and goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.